Subodayam, Swagatam, Suswagatam. I welcome you all for Day 12 Clep 2 Spoken English series for teachers live interactive webinars streaming on YouTube and Facebook from SCERT official live channels. మరి చాలా సంతోషంగా ఉంది. ఇవాళ మంచి రిసోర్స్ పర్సన్స్ మనతో ఉన్నారు. లెట్ మీ ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ దెమ్. మీతో ఉన్నది ఇస్మాయిల్. మరి మనకు ఈరోజు రిసోర్స్ చేయడానికి మనతో ఉన్నారు మిస్టర్ సుమన్ బండి గారు ఫ్రమ్ బెంగళూరు. వెల్కమ్ యూ సార్, గుడ్ మార్నింగ్. అండ్ with us Mr. Vijay Bhaskar Garu, Primary School HM, MPPS HW, Gonegandla, Kurnool. Good morning and welcome you, sir. And also with us Mr. A. Madhubabu Garu, School Assistant English from ZPHS Srikakulam, Kasibugga. Mari,
good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning and welcome for today's session. With us,
thank you so much, sir.
Shri Pokuru Srinivas Garu, Head Department of Digital Education, kuda manto unnaru. Good morning and welcome, sir. Mari ఆలస్యం చేయకుండా ఈ టాపిక్ ని మనం మొదలెట్టబోయే ముందు ఇంతకీ ఈ టాపిక్ ఏంటి, ఈరోజు టాపిక్ ఎలా సో ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ చేస్తాం. సో ఎక్స్ప్రెసింగ్ ఎబిలిటీస్ కావాలి ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ చేయడానికి. సో ద టాపిక్ ఈజ్ ఎక్స్ప్రెసింగ్ ఎబిలిటీస్ అండ్ మేకింగ్ రిక్వెస్ట్. సో వెల్కమ్ యూ ఆల్. ఐ రిక్వెస్ట్ Pokuru Srinivas Garu to introduce Suman Bandi Garu informally. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Ismail. Good morning, Andhra Pradesh. Welcome you all to this show. So we have here Suman Bandi, a teacher trainer from Regional Institute of English, Bangalore, and he also helped us in making of so many modules in English and also helped us in bringing capacity building among our teachers in English. So we heartily welcome, and also welcome the team that he selected, Vijay Bhaskar Garu and Madhu. So, sir, with your team, we welcome you all to this session. Thank you, sir. Please start.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for introducing me, and thanks for the support you have been giving all along this program. It has been a great support. So because of this support only, we could do our sessions without any technical difficulties. I also welcome Vijay Bhaskar Garu and Madhu Garu for this session, who are going to join me and support me in this. So they'll join us in the second half. So good morning, viewers. Hope all of you are doing fine. And I welcome to day 12, webinar 12, as a part of the Spoken English series. Hope you are enjoying these spoken English sessions and also getting benefited out of these sessions. Let me share my screen now. Please give me a moment. So, dear teachers, welcome to webinar 12. Today is expressing abilities and making requests. So these are two different language functions, and we are going to talk about both these functions in today's session. In the last few sessions, you have already been introduced to a few language functions. You have already learned about a few language functions. Shobha ma'am, in one of her last week's sessions, has introduced you to the concept of language functions, where she discussed the importance of language functions and why we should learn them and how we should learn them. And she also has introduced you to some basic language functions. So today we are going to talk about or focus mainly on these two language functions. And for today's presentation, I have with me Vijay Bhaskar Garu, HM, MPPS Gonegandla, and Mr. Madhubabu, SA English, ZPHS Kasibugga. So these both these resource persons are SRPs from Andhra Pradesh. So I'm happy to have them along with me. They are going to join us in the second half of this session. So what are we going to do today's session? What are we going to look at? We are going to explore, we are going to look at various phrases and expressions which are used to express these language functions, that is expressing abilities, inabilities, and requests. So what are the expressions or phrases that we commonly use? What are the informal expressions? what are the formal expressions. We are going to look at them. We are going to try to understand their meaning and how to use them in various contexts. We are also going to look at some common mistakes that happen while using these language functions. And towards the end, we have, as I said, special sessions by these two SRPs where we are going to explore techniques of classroom presentation. So not only should we learn about these language functions, but also it's important that we are able. So we learning these language functions is different from teaching these or presenting these in the classrooms to our primary children. So there are many language functions which are very, very basic, which are also important for our primary children because we use them on a daily basis. So in the second half of the session, we are going to look at or explore techniques of how we can present these in the classroom. So this is also important for us as primary teachers. So first, we look at expressing abilities and inabilities. So both are related to each other and equally important. So as all of us know, this is one of the primary functions, most basic functions that we use on a regular basis. Even from children's point of view, children who are beginning to speak English may need to express various abilities and inabilities of theirs. So that way, this is a very important and basic function. So what does ability mean? So ability refers to our capacity to do something, right? What we are able to do. అంటే మనం చేయగలిగినటువంటి యాక్షన్స్ని మన ఎబిలిటీస్గా చెప్పుకోవచ్చు. సో వాట్ ఎవర్ వీ కెనాట్ డూ, మనం చేయలేనటువంటి యాక్షన్స్ని మన ఇన్ఎబిలిటీస్గా చెప్పుకోవచ్చు. సో దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ ఎబిలిటీ రెఫర్స్ టు. So at home, as individuals, as neighbors, as teachers, in professional setups, informally or formally, we are required to express our abilities, inabilities, and also ask questions to others about their abilities. So that is why it is important that we talk about all these aspects when we learn how to express abilities and inabilities. So ability can be something that you learn naturally, right? For example, here we have Ravi can run fast. See, running is something that you naturally develop, though you can also get trained in running unless you want to be a professional runner, right? So running is ability that we naturally pick up as we grow. So ability is something that can be learned naturally, or it could be developed by conscious efforts. Like Seema can speak English, so learning a language or learning to drive, learning to cook, all these don't come naturally, but we need to put conscious efforts in order to develop these. So let's look at the basic and the most commonly used phrases to express abilities. So can is the most common and most basic verb that we use to express abilities. So Ram can run fast. So Ram can do this. Ram can cook. Ram can drive. Right? This is how can be used, and it is the most frequently used and the most basic verb. So can basically we refer to as a modal auxiliary. So modal verbs are verbs like can, shall, should, would, which are normally used to express various language functions. They have multiple functions. So today we are looking at can from ability, expressing ability, this perspective. So can is the most important form. And next we also can use able to. Able to is another form that we can use to express ability. And in meaning, both can and able to are the same. We can use them replaceably. Like she is able to do business. You can also say she can do business. So is able to, am able to, are able to. Able to is used along with is, am, are while we talk about our present abilities. So even when we use can, Ram can run fast. I can do this. She can cook. So all these refer to the present abilities, your ability to do something in the present. Able to, is able to, are able to, I am. So as you know, the subjects change, we change is, am, are auxiliaries. For example, I am able to, he, she, it is able to. And the plurals take are, we are able to, and they are able to. Now, look at the third form. She has the ability to do business. Compare this with the second form. She's able to do business. Do you think there's any difference in meaning between these two structures? Not really. They both carry the same meaning. So what has happened is we have used the noun form. The second form, she is able to. So able is an adjective form, right? She is able to do. This is the most common and basic way of using able to. Instead, you can also change it into a noun form and say she has the ability to. So this is just a different way of expressing the same meaning. Just that it is and appears to be a little more formal. That's it. But while learning spoken English, our objective is to learn first the informal and the basic and the short expressions rather than more formal expressions. So I would suggest we commonly in our day-to-day usage we use able to rather than the noun form she has the ability to do. So we are making the structure unnecessarily lengthy. One of our objectives in our communication purposes is not only to be meaningful, as we have discussed in the earlier sessions, meaning is prime, right? After meaning, you can say the correctness aspects like accuracy or grammatical aspects. And one of the other aspects is also we should be able to communicate what we want to in as precisely as possible, in as few words as possible. So from that point of view, she is able to do business, right, is always better because it expresses the meaning simply and in few words. Look at the next expression. To earn easily. So this is another way, another phrase or expression where we can use or express ability. So he knows how to earn easily. So though all these forms look same, we use them replaceably. There's a slight difference in their usage, which we are going to come back a little later. So he knows how to earn easily. He knows how to cook. She knows how to drive. This is how we can use these expression knows how to. This is also one of the common and basic forms that we can use to express ability. Next one, Naina is capable of winning the trophy. So this sounds a little formal, isn't it? Nena is capable of winning trophy. So instead of saying Nena can win the trophy, you are saying Nena is capable of winning the trophy. So this expression sounds a little more formal, saying somebody can, somebody is able to. So in more formal situations, when you're talking about somebody's ability, you can choose to use this expression. Look at the next expression. Naina has the capability to win the trophy. Now, is there again any difference between this and the previous expression? Naina is capable of winning. Naina has the capability to win the trophy. Again, as I said, capable is an adjective form and capability is a noun form. So you are just changing the form and way of expression just to make it more formal. That's it. So both have the same meaning. Naina has the capability. Naina is capable. And the last expressions among the common forms is manage to, right? Manage to. This expression can be used in different time frames. Manage to, manages to, managed to in the past form, managing, as you can see. So my mother manages to do all the work alone. So as you can see here, there's a slight difference in the way we in the way we use it. Sorry. So all these are the common expressions, the most common expressions that we can use in English to talk or express abilities. So let us understand the nuances in terms of usage, the differences between these phrases or expressions. So as I said, I can speak English, right? This is, so all these expressions actually apply to me, right? I have written down my ability. So I can speak English. I'm an English teacher, so naturally English speaking should be comfortable to me. I should have a minimum proficiency in English. So I'm quite comfortable in communicating in English. So I can say I can speak English. I can also say I'm able to speak English. Only thing is, able to slightly sounds more formal, though they can be used as replaceably. So I can speak English. I am able to speak Hindi. I am also able to speak Hindi. So I'm saying I'm able to speak Hindi. Hindi also I'm quite comfortable with. So the only difference is able to sounds a little more formal. Next, I managed to speak in Kannada. So Kannada is not my mother tongue. So I have been in Bangalore for quite some time. So I am comfortable in using Kannada, but not as comfortable as my mother tongue Telugu or English or Hindi. So what I can say is I'm not very comfortable. I'm not so proficient in Kannada usage, but I can manage. So from this expression, what do we understand? When we are able to do something which we are comfortable, right, to an average level, but not very comfortable. Or when we are talking about ability to do something to some extent, not completely, not confidently, completely confidently, or when something is usually difficult, but you manage to do it. So for me, manage to the right usage is I can use with Kannada. I manage to speak Kannada. But when I say I can speak in Kannada, it could mean I'm very comfortable. I'm completely comfortable in using Kannada. So a better expression would be I manage to speak Kannada. And the last one, I know how to prepare a cake. So we've already seen, I know how to prepare a cake. So how to stresses on the action, right? The process of doing something. So normally we do not use this for referring general abilities. Rather, we use how to mention a specific process, because how to should always be followed by an action verb, right? Prepare or do something or cook something, etc. So we don't use normally how to for things that most of us know or all of us know. For example, preparing a cake. I can prepare a cake. Not everybody can prepare a cake. Most of the women, because they are housewives, they know how to prepare. They may know how to prepare a cake, right? So something special, right? In order to mention something special that you can do, which normally people may not know, that is where we can say, I know how to drive a car. Not everybody can drive. So apart from the regular and most common abilities and inabilities, we use how to in order to mention or highlight something special that we know, some special ability that we know. Look at this small dialogue. Let's look at this small dialogue in order to understand better the differences between these phrases. So this dialogue is happening between Padma and Geeta. Both of them are friends. So Padma asks Geeta, "How is your baby girl, Geeta?" And Geeta responds, "Very good, Padma. She can speak a few words. She's able to stand on her own. She can walk a few steps." Geeta is actually referring to a small baby who is just beginning to learn to speak. So she can speak a few words, right? She's able to stand on her own. So here, able shows some conscious application of efforts, right? Small baby, she is just learning to stand up on her own. So she's able, right? Able to stand on her own. You can see the slight differences in the way these phrases have been used. She even manages to walk a few steps. So especially if the baby is very small, small babies cannot talk comfortably, cannot walk comfortably. So the baby have to put a lot of conscious efforts. So that is where we use manages to or manage to, something that we manage to do, not with complete ease, but by applying conscious effort. Somehow we manage to do it or finish the action. Next, talking about responding to abilities, right? Normally, when we talk about or when we express abilities, we don't just talk on our own, right? Somebody has to initiate a conversation. Somebody has to ask us a question about the abilities. Normally, this is where we express or talk about abilities. So when we respond, right, what are the common basic ways of responding to abilities? Let's say we have a classroom situation. So a teacher is asking students who can solve this problem, so who has the ability to solve this problem. So either you know or you have the ability, so you acknowledge or accept it. So like Ravi says, teacher, I can solve it. So Ravi feels that he has the ability to solve that problem. So Ravi says, teacher, I can solve it. This is how you can respond. Or you don't have the ability, you don't know how to do that problem, where Mohan says, like Mohan, I cannot solve it, teacher. Or sometimes you either do not have the ability or you have, but then you feel you do not have the ability, but then you want to try. So you can always respond by saying, teacher, I'm not sure, but I can try. So I can at least try, though I do not have the ability to solve this problem, but at least I can try. This is one of the ways of responding. Next, so we started our discussion by saying can is the most basic and important form in order to express the function of ability. But is can always used to express abilities? This is a very, very important question. Can also has lot of other multiple usages. Not only can, when it comes to a language like English, English is the language most multiple usages compared to any other language in the world, right? English is the language which has multiplicity of usages. What do I mean by this phrase? Multiple usages, multiplicity in terms of usage. So words, phrases have don't just have one basic meaning. They have lot of other meanings and functions which they can perform. And when it comes to this multiplicity of usage, among all languages have this feature or aspect, but English especially has lot of this feature. Why does English have this feature? That is because the amount of usage, right? The more we use a language, the more the language is exploited, right? So the more the multiplicity extends. That is why English has lot of this multiple usages, which means words and phrases in English have lot of multiple meanings. Similarly, can also has lot of meanings other than abilities. Look at all these expressions and see whether the usage of can is the same in all the expressions. Just think for a while. I want all of you to think for a while and see if can is being used here in the same way. So as you can see, David can speak 4 languages. What does this function or ability, what does this refer to? Ability, right? David can speak. David has the ability to speak 4 languages. Look at the second expression. Can I use your restroom? So do you think you are really asking about ability here? No, not really. Can I use your restroom is a simple question where you are asking for permission. Can I use your restroom? Right? I need your permission. So this is permission. This is where can is used to express permission. Can you close the door, please? What about this expression? This is also a question, but is it permission? No, you are actually asking the person to do something. It's a request. It is a request. So this is how can be used for performing a request. You can get stamps in that shop. So do you think this refers to ability here? You can get stamps in that shop, right? So this is not even a person that is involved here. Shop, you're talking about a shop. So are you saying that the shop has the ability to sell stamps? Not really. So here, can is being used to express possibility. This is another language function. All these are various language functions. Last one, can I help you with the baggage? So here, though it seems like a question, what are you actually doing here? Can I help you with the luggage? You are asking a question, but basically you're offering help. This is also an important function. So this is how model auxiliaries, not only can, all model auxiliaries have different functions. So that is why we have to be aware of these multiple usages. So this kind of information we can easily get from grammar books or dictionaries. The most important and useful tools to get such information is a dictionary. A good dictionary can help you avoid these kind of confusions. So this is why we need to be very careful while using model auxiliaries to perform different functions. Next, we have looked at various expressions to talk about expressing abilities. Now let's look at how we can express inabilities, which is also equally important, because not all of us have all the abilities in the world. Some of us have some, maybe with respect to some things we do not have that ability. So when it comes to expressing abilities, we just add not, right? I can do this, I cannot do this. Just add not. In spoken English, we use the contracted form can't most often. I cannot, instead we say I can't, I won't. If you talk about other modal auxiliaries, shouldn't, wouldn't, etc. So we can't afford to buy this car. Next, as we have discussed, we can also say is able to, are able to. So when you use is able to, are able to, again, just add not. He is able to speak, but not able to write. This means he is not able to write. This, in short, here also short forms can be used, contracted forms can be used, is able to, we aren't able to, etc. Next, she is capable, she is not capable. Short form, she isn't capable. So just adding not will do for expressing, while expressing abilities. Now, most of the expressions, most of the examples so far have focused on expressing present abilities. Abilities also can be related to the past, which means you can have some abilities in the past, but maybe you don't have now. Over time, maybe you're not doing them, or maybe because of your growing age factor, you may lose ability, right? You may reduce your ability in certain aspects. For example, he was able to swim across the river, right? It is just a past action, somebody's ability to do action in the past. So if it is able to, we just say was or were, depending on whether the subject is singular or plural. So he was able, we were able to finish the work in time. You are just referring to a past action. When it comes to could is used as a past form of can when we talk about abilities. So when we say I can, he can, Naren can, we are referring to present abilities. Whereas when we use the could form, we are referring to the past. So Naren could run 10 kilometers at a stretch when he was young. So maybe he's old now. So now he can only run 5 factor. His ability has diminished. So he could run 10 kilometers, but now he can only 5 kilometers. So similarly, when you want to talk about your abilities in the past, you can say, when I was a child, I could do this, I could do that, but now I cannot do this. When I was in college, I could do this. When I was in college, I could dance well. When I was a child, I could dance well, but maybe now maybe I can't. Next. So apart from expressing abilities and inabilities, it's also important to ask about others' abilities, which means basically questions, framing questions in order to know about others' abilities. So how can you frame these questions? Let's take a simple example statement. You can speak Hindi. This is a statement about somebody's ability. So when you want to convert this into a question, when you want to ask a question based on this, all you have to do is bring the model auxiliary or the auxiliary to the front. So you can you? I can I? They can they? This is how you can frame a simple yes or no question and ask somebody, can you speak Hindi? Can you cook? Can you drive? Etc. So this is how you can ask somebody a simple yes or no question about their abilities. Next, the third and fourth, if you see properly, they are negative questions. Just like statements can be positive and negative, questions also can be positive and negative. Can you speak Hindi? Positive question. Can't you speak Hindi? Is a negative question. So when can we ask somebody a positive and a negative question? Both are questions. Both are for information, right? So can you speak Hindi? Positive question. When do we ask? When we want information. But can't you speak Hindi? Is a confirmative question. We ask such negative questions for confirmation, which means when we know but we are not sure. I thought you speak Hindi. Can't you speak Hindi? Right? Because I thought already. So I'm not sure. I have a doubt. That's when we can ask these kind of question. You can also ask WH questions, right? About others' abilities. What can you do? How many language can you speak? So as you can see, structure-wise, WH question always starts with a WH word followed by auxiliary. So in this case, we are talking about can. So you can say, what can? How many languages can? This is how we frame WH questions. Next, common errors. There are some common mistakes that people, knowingly or unknowingly commit while expressing abilities. So the most common of these are, I can able to sing dance. So as we discussed, can and able both are different verbs forms that we use. They have the same meaning. So this is a common mistake that happens. Sir, I can able to sing. I can able to sing, dance. I can able to do this action. So this should be avoided. I can sing, I can dance, or I am able to sing, I am able to dance. Similarly, negative forms also this combination is used. I can't able to drive. I can't drive, or I am not able to drive. That's it. We could able to go. We could able to win the cup. No, we could win the cup, or we were able to win the cup. We couldn't able, again we could not reach, or just say we were not able to reach. Rekha has the capacity of winning the trophy. This is a very common usage, right? Most of us use this without thinking, but capacity is usually used to refer to the physical capacity rather than ability. So it's always better to say Rekha has the capability of winning the trophy rather than capacity, right? So with that, we finished talking about abilities, expressing abilities and inabilities. We'll quickly move on to the second part two, another important language function, that is making and responding to requests. This is also one of the basic and important language functions. So what are we doing when we are making a request? Basically, we are asking the opposite person to do something. Right? This is different from telling people to do something. So when we tell people to do something, we could give them instructions, directions, or commands. In all these functions, we are asking them to do something. While making a request, also we are asking them to do something, but we are being more polite. Especially when we want some help from others, we cannot just instruct them, we cannot just direct them or command them, right? So these are used depending on the relationship and the context. So language plays a very very important role if you want a positive response when you are asking for a request. So it's important also to know how to accept or decline a request. So the most common forms that we can use for expressing or requests or asking requests, these are the most common expressions. Can you, could you, can you do this, could you do this, will you do this, would you do this. So these are the most frequently used forms. So meaning wise they are the same. Please note that in the previous function when we talked about could, we said that could is the past form of can. Could is used to express past ability. But here, as you can see, could is not the past form of can. So we should be careful. Multiple usages. So in this case, could is equal to can, would is equal to will. They are just more formal versions. Could is more formal than can, would is more formal than will. So let's look quickly at the list of expressions while making requests from less polite to more polite. Can and will, these are the most common forms of expressing or asking a request. Can you help me? Will you help me? Both are same in meaning. These expressions we use mostly in informal situations. So if you want to be more polite, just add please. Can you help me please? You can also use please after the auxiliary. Can you please help me? Right? Can you please help me? Will you please help me? And if you want to make it even more formal, so if the situation becomes more formal, you want to be more polite, that's where you can replace can and will by could and would. Could you help me? Would you help me? So these are more formal than can and will. And could is already formal. In order to make it more polite, you can add please. Could you help me please? Would you help me please? So naturally, when because these are more polite and formal, the tone also changes. Can be used with close friends and family members. Can you help me? But when you're using could, it means naturally you're being more polite. So could you help me please? So even the tone also adds to the function. Can I have some water? When you are asking somebody this one. So this is definitely not a formal context. This is an informal context. Can I have some water? But even such expressions can be made more polite by changing the modal auxiliary. So this can be made more polite by saying, may I have some water? You can make it even more polite by adding please. May I have some water, please? So let us look at some of the other expressions. We have already looked at can, could. Can you cook lunch today? If you're talking about cooking lunch, so definitely you're talking to your friends, close friends, or family members. So, can you cook lunch today? You don't have to be very polite or formal. But if you want to be, you could use, could you cook lunch today? Right? Could you please cook lunch today? By adding please, you're being very pleasing, very appealing, right? You're being more polite, even with your closed ones, right? Compared to these expressions, alternative expressions are these. If you want to be more, even more polite, do you mind cooking lunch today? So as you can see, the first three expressions are direct asking. You're directly expressing your request. But whereas the last two are, you're being indirect. By being indirect, you're being very tactful and also being very polite. Do you mind cooking lunch today? Would you mind moving this side? And also notice that when you use do you mind, would you mind, you notice that the verbs are not used in base form, right? So far, all the expressions can you, could you, would you, will you have seen that the main verb was used in V1 base form. But when you use do you mind, would you mind, you have to use an ing form, right? The ing form or the gerund form, grammatically we call it. So this is something to note. Next, let us look at some context to understand where we can be direct, where we can be indirect, right? Most of the times when we ask people to do something, right, we use imperatives. But imperatives, all the time, we cannot use imperatives. Imperatives using directly can sound rude. For example, context one, right? We are talking about a middle-aged man or a boy in 25s or 30s, where an old man, a neighbor, keeps calling him boy, 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 because he is older, right? But this boy, he has turned over 20 or 25 years, so he doesn't want to be called boy, right? So every time that old man calls him boy, this boy or this man, this fellow, he gets irritated. So one day he decides to tell him. So he can say, don't call me boy. This is a direct imperative, right? He's being very direct. So in such situations, these kind of expressions can be appear to be rude. So instead of being so directly using an imperative, he can be a little more polite, and he can make it into a request by saying, please don't call me boy. Please don't call me boy, by adding please, and also by making his tone pleasing. But even this is better than don't call me a boy. But if you want to sound even more respectful and polite, you could say in indirect request, I really wish you stop calling me boy. So there are situations where even if you are being direct in your request, sometimes you may have to be better than that by being indirect, by using such expressions. I really wish you stop calling. I really wish you stop doing this. I really wish you don't call me so often. When somebody is calling you very often by calling you many times. Next, context two. Let us talk about a teacher and a student setup in a classroom where a teacher identifies that her students are making some mistakes. So the teacher can be direct and use an imperative by saying, be careful hereafter. Nothing wrong with this expression. But the teacher can be a little more pleasing by saying, please be careful, children, hereafter. So this is a direct request, right? And the teacher can be even more polite by saying, let us be careful hereafter, by including herself. Though there is no need, mistakes are made by children. The teacher is advising the children, but still see how by using an expression like let us, the teacher is involving herself. So this is also an indirect way of expression where the teacher is being more democratic and more polite. So we need to be aware of this kind of functions. That is why teachers say, let us start the lesson, let us go forward. An important expression used by teachers to show this indicates that the teacher is being very polite and democratic. Next, some other special requests, right? For example, context one. This seems to be a direct question. What time is it? You're asking somebody time, right? So you can make it more polite by adding please, right? This is not any language function. You are just asking this question for information, but you can make it more pleasing by adding a word please. You can also be more polite by saying, could you tell me what time it is? Or you can just say, excuse me, can you tell me the time please, by adding excuse me. This is a another way to make an expression more polite. Next, context two. You're asking somebody, right, to give you permission to serve the food. This is absolutely by the context you can know or can understand the form. By form you can understand the context is a very, very informal context. So let me serve the food. Serving food you're talking about, because maybe you're talking to your close friends or close family members. So you can, even there you can be more polite by saying, let me serve the food please. Please let me serve the food, right? You're asking somebody to allow you to do something. So even that can be made polite by adding a please. Most of the time, please is a word which can go with any and every expression, including questions like this, like you have just seen in context one. Next, written English. Some of the expressions that we use in written English. Most of these language functions we use in the spoken mode, but when we use in the written English, written context, we don't ask it we don't keep the question format, right? We use them in the statement format or an imperative format. Look at the first one example. Let's say a headmaster is talking to his teachers. Send me the list of students in an email ID. Let's say, sorry, he's typing an email, sending an email to the teacher, the headmaster. So he or she can say, send me the list of students. This is okay because the headmaster has the power or authority. But this is neither rude nor very polite. It is just a neutral expression. The headmaster is still showing his authority. There's no problem, though there's no problem, right? Any problem with the usage. The headmaster or the person can be a little more polite by saying, I request you to send the list of students. And you can also make it even more formal by saying, we would be grateful if you can send us the list. But looking at it from a headmaster point of view, do you think we can use the third expression? Not really. The headmaster doesn't really have to be so formal with a teacher, right? If he or she is talking or communicating with a teacher. So who can use this? It depends on the context. For example, if you are if you are asking this to an higher official, let us say DO, or maybe you're communicating with the commissioner's office, then you are a teacher. Then maybe you can use such a very formal expression. Some more formal expressions quickly we look at. So if you want to be very formal, these are some of the commonly used formal expressions. Is there any chance you could do it? I'd really appreciate if you could lend me some money. Do you think you could do this for me? Sorry to bother you. And again, another phrase where you can add to any request, right, by being more considerate. You're being more considerate by using this expression. May I request you to do this? May I request you to occupy the chair? Especially, may I request you to, can we have the pleasure of? Where do we come across? Especially in public functions, seminars, meetings, where you are inviting somebody to occupy a chair, right? Or to conduct the proceedings of a session, right? May I request you to occupy the chair? May I request the principal to host the session? May I request the chief guest to come on to the dais? Can we have the pleasure of having the so-and-so amidst us as a chairman, as a chief guest, right? Could you possibly do this for me? I wonder if you could possibly do this for me. So all these are some commonly used expressions for very formal situations. Now, responding to requests, also very important to know how to respond to a request. So in informal situations, how can you respond to a request? When you want to accept the request, you can simply say, okay, sure, yes, sure, of course, my pleasure, with pleasure, sure, don't worry, sure, no problem. So all these are possible ways to accept a request in informal situations. Next, formal situations to accept a request. My pleasure, with pleasure can be used both formally and informally. I'd be happy to, I'd be delighted to, I'd be delighted to host this session. I'd be delighted to chair this session. I'd be glad, right? I consider it as a privilege. I feel honored to. So these, the last two are especially very formal. They are only used in formal situations. And lastly, refusing requests. How do you refuse requests? Right? You don't accept. You don't want to oblige to the request. So you can just say, I can't. Sorry, I can't. I just can't. I'm sorry. Certainly not. And the last two are a little more formal. I feel sorry to say, I'm afraid, but I can't. So this is about expressing, making requests, and also earning requests. So in today's session, we have looked at two important functions, that is expressing abilities, inabilities, and how to express requests and how to respond to requests. So this session is only for your information and awareness. So what is more important is, if you are not good in these functions, practicing is very important. We cannot develop using language functions by sessions like these. These kind of sessions are only for an awareness, knowledge, understanding. What is more important is practice. So hope you will practice and more how to use these language functions in a better way. With this, I complete my presentation. Now I hand over the session to Vijay Bhaskar Garu for a small talk on how can we present these language functions in the classroom. Thank you.
Yavaskar Garu, your screen is visible now.
Okay, sir. Can I go with?
Yeah, you continue your presentation.
Right, sir. Thank you. అందరికీ నమస్కారం. ఎస్సీఆర్టీ వారు నిర్వహిస్తున్నటువంటి స్పోకెన్ ఇంగ్లీష్ వెబినార్ సెషన్స్ కు మీ అందరికీ మరొకసారి స్వాగతం. My name is Vijay Bhaskar. I am working as a primary school headmaster at Goraganla village in Kurnool district. Really thinking that it is my fortune to be here to present a demo on expressing abilities and inabilities. The objective of my session is, the objective of my demo is to make the children aware of the usage of can and can't in simple present tense to express their ability and inability. Keeping in mind the objective, I included these things in my presentation. I'm going to deal with making you aware of how to motivate the children in order to make them aware of expressing the abilities and inabilities, and how to introduce the concept to them. And secondly, I'm going to present an activity to reinforce the concept among the children. And finally, I'm going to give some tips to evaluate the learnings of our children. Before starting, I would like to give a note to all teachers. That is, whenever we are going to introduce keywords or expression to the children, it is very important to put them in the context. When you contextualize the things, it will be very easy for the children to learn easily. మనం ఎప్పుడైనా కీవర్డ్స్ కానీ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్స్ కానీ పిల్లలకు ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేసేటువంటి క్రమంలో వాటిని కాంటెక్స్చువలైజ్ చేసి చెప్పడం ద్వారా వాళ్ళు సులభంగా అర్థం చేసుకోవడానికి వీలవుతుంది. Because of this, I have selected one context from 4th class, unit number 1 in the new English textbooks, and the name of the lesson is 3 butterflies. For your convenience, I would like to give the story in brief. Once upon a time, there lived 3 butterflies which were best friends. And one day, these 3 butterflies were playing in a garden. Suddenly, it started raining. So they became wet. They went to a sunflower, and after that, they went to a lily flower to seeking for help. They said they can help some of the friends, and they can't help some of the friends. So these butterflies, what they did, that was the story. I have taken this context in order to explain them the expression ability and inability. For this purpose, what we have to do? To begin with, we have to interact with the children using some informal questions. It is always better to interact with the children in their mother tongue. Because if you start speaking in English with them right from the beginning, it will be difficult for them to understand. So start your motivation in their mother tongue. పిల్లలు, ఇంతవరకు మీరు 3 బటర్ఫ్లైస్ కథ విన్నారు కదా. ఈ కథలో సన్ఫ్లవర్ ఏమన్నది? నేను కొంతమందికి సహాయం చేయగలను, కొంతమందికి సహాయం చేయలేను అన్నది కదా. అట్లాగే ఈరోజు ఒక ముఖ్యమైనటువంటి ఆసక్తికరమైనటువంటి అంశాన్ని మీకు చెప్పాలని నేను అనుకుంటున్నాను. దానికన్నా ముందు ఒక చిన్న యాక్టివిటీ చేద్దాం. నేను కొన్ని యాక్షన్స్ను మీకు చెప్తాను. మీరు చేయగలిగితే గట్టిగా నేను చేయగలను అని చెప్పండి. ఒకవేళ చేయలేకపోతే నేను చేయలేను అని గట్టిగా చెప్పండి. అంటూ పిల్లలకు కొన్ని యాక్షన్స్ ఇవ్వండి. లైక్ గాలిపటాలు ఎగరవేయడం. చేయగలిగినటువంటి పిల్లలు గట్టిగా చెప్తారు, నేను చేయగలను. ముగ్గులు వేయడం, నేను చేయగలను. చేయడం, నేను చేయలేను. కేక్ను తయారు చేయడం, నేను చేయలేను. ఓకే పిల్లలు, ఇప్పుడు ఇంతవరకు మీరు నేను చేయగలను, నేను చేయలేను అన్నారు కదా. వీటినే మనం ఇప్పుడు ఇంగ్లీష్లో ఏమంటారో ఒకసారి చూసే ప్రయత్నం చేద్దాం. అంటూ యూ కెన్ గో టు ద సో in order to introduce the abilities, I am keeping that in three simple steps. First one, while introducing the concept, you have to write the phrase I can on the blackboard. This allows the children to visualize what they are going to learn. Allow the children to say it again and again. పిల్లలు, ఇంతవరకు మీరు కొన్ని పనులకు చేయగలను అన్నారు, కొన్ని పనులకు చేయలేను అన్నారు. ఇప్పుడు చేయగలిగినటువంటి పనులను ఇంగ్లీష్లో ఎలా ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ చేస్తారో చూద్దాం. దీన్ని మనం ఐ కెన్ అని ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ చేస్తాము. మీరు ఏవైనా పనులు చేయగలిగితే దానిని ఐ కెన్ అని ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ చేయండి. గివ్ దెమ్ సమ్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ and ask them to respond with this phrase. Like again you can ask them the same questions. Galipatalu egaraveyadam, and this time ask the children or encourage the children to answer you in English. Like I can parigettadam, I can dunkadam, I can. Like that you have to register the phrase I can in the minds of the children. Ensure after the end of the step 1, you have to make the children to register or to say the phrase I can, and move to the next one. Add a base verb to the expression that is I can. For this purpose, what you have to do is you have to write some action words on the board, and these action words are nothing but the doable activities of the children. I have given you some examples here, like dance, run, read, write, draw, etc. All these are the doable things by the children. Now, encourage the children to say or respond their ability I can, adding the base verb. Ask them, if you can you dance, children? They will say I can. Add the base verb, so they have to say I can dance. Like this, in the step 2, after finishing the step 2, you have to make the children to say their answers or to express their abilities by adding the base verb to the expression that is I can. Don't say to them that I is a subject, can is a modal verb, dance is a base verb. All these are not necessary, but ensure that they have to say their expression in a full form, like I can dance, I can run, I can read. If your children are able to do this, take them to the next level, that is adding a infinitive. For this purpose, you need to prepare a set of questions. A set of questions with all doable actions of the children. Now ask these questions to the children. Children, who can play the cricket? I can play the cricket. Some of the children in the beginning, they may say I can play, but encourage them to give you answer or to express their ability in full form, like I can play cricket. Pillalu, movie songs evaru paadagalaru? I can sing movie songs. Like this, you have to encourage them to say or express their ability in full form. Following these 3 steps, number 1, introducing them the phrase that is I can, and in the second step, adding a base verb. I can dance, I can run, like that. After that, a verb infinitive, you have to introduce the expression. And similarly, in the similar fashion, you have to take up the expression that is expressing inability. Follow the same steps. First, in the first step, write I can't, the phrase I can't, on the blackboard and explain them how to use it. Give some example and the example should contain the activities which are not possible for the children to do. So encourage them to say the phrase, I can't. Skip the second one because your children are already know or aware to use I can and base verb. So directly go to the next step, adding infinitive. You have to prepare a set of questions and pose these questions to the children. Children, can you repair a TV? Encourage them to answer you in full form like, I can't repair a TV. Children, can you drive a car? No, I cannot drive a car. Like that, we have to encourage or we have to make the children aware of the usage of these expressions. And when you are summing up, one more time, give some more regarding the usage of can, regarding the usage of can't, and make the children better understand the usage of these expressions. Second is the activity time. And in this activity time, you have to reinforce the learnings of the children. For this purpose, you need some preparation. Prepare more number of activity cards containing the picture of an action and the name of that action. Use these activity cards or flashcards to make your children express their abilities or inabilities. How to conduct this activity in the classroom? You have to prepare a number of flashcards as shown in the previous slide, and keep them on the table as a pile. Or you can spread them on the table facing upside down. Ask one children to come up and pick up 3 cards at a time. పిల్లలు నా దగ్గరికి రండి, టేబుల్ మీద ఉన్నటువంటి కార్డ్స్ నుంచి ఏవైనా 3 కార్డ్స్ మీరు తీసుకోండి. నౌ ఆస్క్ దెమ్ టు ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ దేర్ ఎబిలిటీ బేసింగ్ ఆన్ ద పిక్చర్ అండ్ ద యాక్షన్ రిటన్ ఆన్ ద ఫ్లాష్ కార్డ్. I can run, I can jump, I can't fly, I can't drive, I can't swim, I can run, I can read, I can't write. Like this, allow the children to say more and more expressions to reinforce your expression. Coming to the finally, the evaluation part. In this part, you have to evaluate what the children have learned. You have to prepare a task table. I am giving you a model task table like this, where the actions are written on one side and leaving space for writing the names of the children, and divide the children into very small groups. Or it is not possible, you can conduct this evaluation individually. Ask them to complete the task table using can and can't. They have to write in the space provided. They have to read the activity first, and they have to write can or can't in the space provided for them. If they can able to do that, they have to write can. If it is not possible for them to do that activity, in order to express their inability, they have to write can't. So like this, you have to give a task to them. And remember one thing, spoken English aspects are always based more on speaking, less on writing. So allow the children less to write and allow the children to speak more. After finishing this task, individually ask the children to say their abilities and inabilities. Like, పిల్లలు ఇప్పుడు మీరు టాస్క్ పూర్తి చేసుకున్నారు కదా, మీరు చేసుకున్నటువంటి టాస్క్ నుంచి మీరు చేయగలిగినవి చేయలేని వాటిని చెప్పండి. దే మే ఆన్సర్ లైక్ దిస్: I can sing a song, I can't read Hindi. I can write English, I can ride a bicycle, I can't play kabaddi. Like this, they have to answer you. And you can add more flavor to their presentation. Ask them to enact what they are saying. That means అభినయించి చూపడం. వారు చెప్తున్నటువంటి ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ను అభినయించి చూపమని వారికి చెప్తే వాళ్ళు సులభంగా దీన్ని అర్థం చేసుకుంటారు. సో మై డియర్ ఫ్రెండ్స్, ఈ విధంగా సులభంగా మనం ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్స్ని క్లాస్ రూమ్లో పిల్లల చేత చేయించి వారికి అర్థమయ్యేటట్టుగా చెప్పవచ్చు. థ్యాంక్స్ ఫర్ యువర్ యాక్టివ్ పార్టిసిపేషన్ and listening. I will be back with you with another important topic tomorrow. Till then, take good care of you. Bye. Over to Suman sir.
So yeah, thank you, Vijay Bhaskar garu. Thanks for the wonderful demo. It's a very simple and very doable activity. I'm sure the teachers will find it very useful to do it in the class. I now request Madhu Babu garu to take over and start sharing your screen. Let us look at another presentation to learn another function and how it can be presented. Over to Madhu.
Namaste. Thank you so much, sir. Namaste, dear teachers. I am A. Madhu Babu, working as school assistant in English at JPHS Kasibugga. Well, in this session, we'll learn an interesting topic. Are you ready? Bhaskarana, can I start my presentation? Dear teachers, will you please stay for another 10 to 12 minutes so that I can complete my presentation? Dear Srinivas sir and Ismail sir, could you please allow me and show the screen very well so that I can do this successfully? And my dear mentors, would you please watch this and give feedback? So I hope you all will do this. So I think, my dear teachers, now you can understand what is my topic all about. So if I want my session to be successful, what I have done, Andy, I have requested all the people to make it successful. And in today's session, we'll learn about making requests. So let us check the objectives. After this session, you'll be able to recognize a situation where you need to request something, make a request, or carry on a polite and respectful conversation. Right? Now, this is how I plan my session. Please observe carefully, my dear teachers. Ismail sir, to help me a lot in my presentation. Okay, so this is all about. Right. So this is how my presentation goes. In the first session, you will see how to introduce the expressions like can you, could you, will you, and would you. At the same time, we have also designed how to design interesting activities and give practice. And the third important area is we will see how to use these expressions in our day-to-day communication. And finally, we will see how to evaluate all these learning outcomes. Right? Now, let's look at this one. Good morning, Mr. Parrot. Will you sing a song for me? Oh no, you will eat me. Now, let's see what the cat is saying. Don't worry, dear. I'm so old and I can't eat you. Will you please sing a song for me? Okay, sure. But I'll go there and sing. La, 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 la. Okay. Now let's look at this. Look at this simple conversation. So how did the cat begin? Dear teachers, good morning, Mr. Parrot. Will you sing a song for me? What did the parrot say, Andy? Oh no, you will eat me. Did it accept? Saying no. And now, again, cat is requesting. Don't worry, dear. I'm so old and I can't eat you. Would you please sing a song for me? See how the cat started requesting. Okay, sure, but I'll go there and sing like la 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 la. This is how we introduce and we use some certain expressions to make our work done. Like how I asked Ismail sir and Sidhu sir for helping me a lot. Thank you so much, Ismail sir. And now let us see what are the various expressions we are using now. Can you? Can I? Could you? Will you? And would you? Right. Now, here is a small interaction, usually, how we can begin with children. So, hi, Tina. Do you want to play? Yes. Do you have a bat, Tina? No. Okay, then how will you ask? Please give me a bat. So, in the same way, you can take one more example, like if you want to interact with the children, you can show something, you can bring some toys. Pillalu, do you want this monkey? Yes. But ela adutavamma? Give me. No, I won't give you. Ask politely, I'll give you. Please give me monkey. Okay. In this way, you can use some kind of interesting activities to the children. Right. Now, we will see the real life situations. Imagine that you want to play with your friends. How do you ask? Look at this. What are they doing? They are playing. Now, look at this boy. See what is he asking? Can I play with you? Will you join me? So this is the way that boy is requesting to his friends because they are friends. So he is doing that informal situation. So informal situation ఉండేటప్పుడు మనకి can I గాని will you గాని మనం అడగొచ్చు. అలాగే now we will see to make a request what the boy asks. Can I play with you? Will you join me in your team? Now see, would you give me your bat, please? Then we also should learn how to respond to requests saying yes or no. Right? Then as sir was saying, Suman sir was saying, we have to use certain expressions saying, sure, come, let's play. Okay, come and join. Sometimes the students won't say yes and they will say no. See what will happen. No, we started the match already. Sorry, I can't give you the bat. This is how we use these expressions for making requests and giving responses by saying yes or no. Right. So now look at this. This is the situation where we have taken from class 4 and the lesson is unit 1 and my family from environmental science from our new textbooks. So the situation is father has been transferred to somewhere and what he's doing is he's bringing all the material to their home. Now let us see how the father is asking help to the child. Chala jagrata chudandi. Asalu help kavalante మనం ఏమేం చేయాలి? For example, first one, Harsha, can you help me? Now let's listen what Harsha is saying. Sorry, I can't help you. I'm so busy now. Now, see there is one more boy. Chintu, would you help me please? Okay, sure, Dad. I'm coming. So this is how we can use these certain expressions in our classroom situation from our reader. Right. Mari intavaraku we have learned interesting things and how to introduce. Now we will see one interesting activity. Look at this. Polite or rude. Usually ga mana work edaina jaragalante what we do is we request. Chala request ga adite mana work jarugutundi. Now let us do this activity for the children. Look at that and now listen to this. I'll give you 2 cards, children. నా ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్ జాగ్రత్తగా వినండి పిల్లలు. చదివిన తర్వాత రైట్ గా ఉందా రూట్ గా ఉందా ఒకసారి చెప్పండి. మమ్మీ గివ్ మీ యువర్ మొబైల్. డూ యూ థింక్ మమ్మీ విల్ గివ్? ఇస్ ఇట్ పొలైట్ ఆర్ రూడ్ చిల్డ్రన్? వాట్ రాజు? ఓ ఇట్స్ రూడ్. Now let's look at another one. Dad, would you give me your laptop please? I have to do a project work. So what is it? It's a polite request. So this is how we can play this interesting game with the children and children will really love it. ఇలాంటి మంచి యాక్టివిటీస్ ఇచ్చేసి వేరియస్ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్స్ కనుక అడిగితే పిల్లలు చాలా ఎంజాయ్ చేస్తారు. అండ్ నౌ సో యూ కెన్ అండర్స్టాండ్, మన వర్క్ ఏదైనా జరగాలంటే మనం రిక్వెస్ట్ చేస్తూ అడిగితే మన వర్క్ జరుగుతుంది. రైట్ చిల్డ్రన్? నౌ we will look at the evaluation part. Well, evaluation, look at this picture. What do you find there? So match the picture with the correct expression. So in the first picture, what do you find? You can find kites. They are making kites. And in the second picture, what can you find? Children are playing cricket. So now what is the expression? Can I go out and fly kites, mommy? So now can you tell children? చెప్పగలరా ఇందులో ఏ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ సరిపోతుంది? ఏ సరిపోతుందా? బియా? It's all about A. Perfect, Ravi. Now we will see. So this is one more interesting activity, and this is, we can use it for evaluation. As Vijay Bhaskar sir was saying, that how can we make it to very friendly. మంచి యాక్టివిటీస్ తయారు చేసుకుంటే మనకి చాలా యూస్ఫుల్ గా ఉపయోగపడుతుంది. అండ్ మోర్ ఓవర్ we have to give lot of opportunities to our students for speaking. So concept ఏంటంటే, if we give one language function per day, or say for example ఒక 100 language expressions కి per year కనుక నేర్చుకుంటే, and our children able to do a lot in that year. So here concept ఏంటంటే, make requests using the clues or the pictures. చాలా సింపుల్ అండి. పిక్చర్స్ కలెక్ట్ చేద్దాం, దానికి తగ్గట్టుగా చిన్న ఫ్లాష్ కార్డ్స్ తయారు చేసుకోవచ్చు. నౌ యూ కెన్ గివ్ దిస్. యూ హావ్ టు గివ్ వన్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఆల్సో. ఒక చిన్న ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఉంది. కుడ్ యూ గివ్ మీ మనీ ప్లీజ్? ఫైన్. సెకండ్ చూద్దాం మళ్ళీ. యూజ్ ఉంది, గివ్ ఐపాడ్ ఉంది. ఐ థింక్ వీ కెన్ మేక్ 2 sentences. కెన్ ఐ యూజ్ యువర్ ఐపాడ్? ఆర్ ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు బి మోర్ పొలైట్, హౌ విల్ యూ ఆస్క్? కుడ్ యూ గివ్ యువర్ ఐపాడ్ ప్లీజ్? ఇలా చేసుకోవచ్చు. So I think that the time is running, and I'll quickly finish.
Yeah, please.
So
thanks for understanding.
Yes, sure, I can understand. So this is one interesting activity for a conversation. So how we can do, we will see. Appu invited guests to his house. So Appu is collecting so many food materials. So now looking at the food materials, Bandi wanted to eat it. So now what would be the conversation Appu and Bandi? ఇలాంటి ఒక చిన్న సందర్భం ఇచ్చి పిల్లలకు కనుక కాన్వర్జేషన్ రాయమని చెప్తే చాలా ఈజీగా ఉంటుంది. అఫ్ కోర్స్ ఇది 5th క్లాస్ వరకు కూడా పిల్లలు చేస్తారు. సో నౌ లెట్ us see how it goes. నా కాన్సెప్ట్ ఏంటంటే, ఇక్కడ ఒకసారి ఆ కాన్వర్జేషన్స్ ఎలా ఉన్నాయి, దాంట్లో ఎలా ఇది టీచర్ వెర్షన్ లో చెప్తే సరిపోతుందండి. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, బంటి, డాడీ ఐఎమ్ ఫీలింగ్ వెరీ హంగ్రీ, కెన్ ఐ ఈట్ దీస్ షుగర్ కేన్స్? నో బంటి, టుడే గెస్ట్స్ ఆర్ కమింగ్ టు అవర్ హోమ్, సో డోంట్ ఆస్క్ మీ డియర్. డాడ్, then can I take these coconuts? Sorry Appu, there are only a few coconuts. ఇలా మనం చేస్తే సరిపోతుంది. నెక్స్ట్, డాడీ, there are so many bananas, would you please give me one banana? Okay dear, here you are, take this banana. ఈ కాన్వర్జేషన్ లో చూస్తే ఫస్ట్ కెన్ ఐ ఈట్ చూసాము, కెన్ ఐ టేక్, తర్వాత సేయింగ్ సారీ ఆర్ నో, దట్ ఈస్ హౌ ఇట్స్ రెస్పాన్స్ టు ద రిక్వెస్ట్, అండ్ ఫైనల్లీ వుడ్ యూ ప్లీజ్ గివ్ మీ అనేసరికి ఫైనల్లీ dad gave that, and thank you so much dad. This is how we can give interesting activities. Alage ఇప్పుడు my dear teachers, what we are doing is we can prepare wonderful resources. I'm very thankful to all the mentors who are doing a great job. ప్రతి లాంగ్వేజ్ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ కూడా మనం ఇన్ఫార్మల్, సేయింగ్ నో, ఫార్మల్, సేయింగ్ ఎస్ అని బిగ్ బుక్స్ ప్రిపేర్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఐ షో యూ టుమారో ఆల్సో వండర్ఫుల్ పిక్చర్స్ తోని మనం ఎలా చేసుకోవచ్చు. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, ఇన్ఫార్మల్, can you give me your English workbook? No, I have to complete my work. So ఇలాంటి కొన్ని ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్స్ తయారు చేసుకొని మనం రెడీ చేసుకుంటే you can do wonders. Well, so here is one last game. With this I'll complete. So this is the race of politeness. Now I think all the teachers can ready the chat box. So first ఏం చెప్పాం? Sit down. It's very rude, right? So next sentence ఏంటి? Please sit down for some more time. I'll complete. Please be seated. And now let us see. Please sit anywhere you like. Now look at the race and the politeness. And finally, please sit anywhere you like whenever you're ready. So this is how you can do. And my dear teachers, I think that you enjoyed this session. Now, do you think, can I come to class tomorrow? So then get ready with your chat box and I will see who will give lot of expressions like come to my class, or even you can say, sir, please don't come again also, you can say, no issue. So this is how you can say, start the competition and I'll check all your chat box later on. So once again, thank you so much, my dear teachers. And I thank all the APSCRT and especially Department of Digital Education for giving such a great opportunity to interact with you. And thank you so much, dear Suman sir and Bhaskarana, for this support. Thanks a lot. So this is how we can do, and let's meet in the next class. Until then, bye. Over to Ismail sir.
Thank you very much, Madhu Garu. It's already time is running, so I request Suman sir to come line and conclude the session at earliest.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Madhubabu Garu, for a wonderful and energetic presentation. Dear teachers, hope you found both these demo sessions useful. And if you find them useful, I request you to take these ideas to your classroom and make sure to experiment with them and see how they are working in your classrooms. Thank you. I thank both the SRPs for putting in wonderful efforts and trying to give a demo to our teachers so that they find classroom transaction easy. So I thank you both. Yes, Ismail Garu, can we have the question and answer session now?
Sure, sir. So as time is already running out, so I will
Yeah.
take only 2-3 questions and we can close the session. Cheruvu Yajulu, he is asking that explaining or telling meanings of words in Telugu in English classes, how it will work out to teach all these things what today's topic is.
Okay, madam, yeah, that's a very valid question, which not only you but many teachers have this feeling, but I think we have already answered this question, especially in one of my previous sessions, multilingualism as an approach. So all of us have been constantly telling that mother tongue can be a very important tool if we know how to use it. So it doesn't matter whether we are talking about simple words or phrases or longer phrases or sentences. Even if you're talking about very simple words, especially in the primary classes, while introducing, mother tongue can be a very great tool. To first time when you're introducing phrases, words, vocabulary, etc., concept words, mother tongue can help the children instantly understand the concept. For example, there are other ways also where teacher can help students understand vocabulary. For example, by bringing real objects into the class. If not real objects, maybe imitation products, or maybe pictures, or maybe you can use technology to help children understand words by showing the pictures through online or in the video format or through projector screen. All these are multiple possibilities, but without too much of effort. While introducing concept words to children, it'll be mother tongue can very help children understand very easily. So this is the advantage that we can have by using the mother tongue. This doesn't mean whenever teacher uses a word, the teacher has to use the mother tongue. No, only when introducing the words for first time teacher can use, and once children understand the word, later the teacher can always go back to the English equivalent of these words. That is how it will be.
Thank you very much for precisely answering the question. Another question is usually in the classrooms, students we use "May I come in, sir? Can I leave this classroom?" But the thing is, where in the first case we use "may" only generally, and the second case we use "can." Why this? Why can't "can" in the first case and "may" in second case? Bhaskar is asking.
What is the second case, sir?
Can I leave the class? First one is "May I come into the."
May I come to the class? Can I come to the class?
Can I leave the class?
Okay, can I leave the class? Yeah. So, sir, that could just be what you have observed, but may and can equally be replaceably be used when when you are asking for a permission. Like, may I come in is the same as can I come in, and even while leaving the class, can I leave the class or may I leave the class? It's
Thank you
just
very much.
that may is sounds a little more formal. Though most of us use them replaceably, may sounds a little formal, sir. So otherwise, if you look at the base meaning and function, both same and can be used replaceably.
Thank you very much, sir.
Maybe in your observation, your case, it has just been your observation, but
Yes,
it's
sir.
absolutely no problem, sir. If students
Thank
use
you.
them replaceably.
We'll go for last question, sir.
Yes, sir.
Bhaskar Boderi, can past form is good, but why can is ability could is request?
Sorry, sir. Can you repeat the question?
Bhaskar Bodeti is asking,
Yes.
can is the past form, can past form is could only, could,
Yes.
but why can is a ability and could is request?
Yes, sir. So during my presentation, I have already addressed this thing. Maybe it was not noticed. Sir, as I said, not only can, all modal auxiliaries like can, will, would, shall, might, may, all these modal auxiliaries have multiple functions, sir. That is the nature of English language itself. Not only modal or auxiliary, most of the words have and functions, especially modal auxiliaries. That is why we need to be aware of these functions, sir. Can, past form of can is could only in the context of abilities, sir. When we are referring to can as a form to express ability, only could should be considered as the past form of can. But when we are making requests, right, making requests, there is no present or past form. They are just question words to ask requests. So can and could are equal, sir, in meaning. Only thing is could is more polite, is considered more polite and formal than can. So depending on the situation, you can choose to say can I come in or could I come in please. That's it.
Thank you very much, sir. So already today we have taken much time. So I request the viewers to understand and excuse us for
Thank
this
you for
time.
the patience.
And actually, this is very interesting. And keep on. I'm watching at the comments. Keep on participant. I mean, viewers are posting their queries, please. So that's the reason. And also, I want to convey one thing to the viewers that though is telecasting now, so that is the Vardi program for the students. It is telecasting in the Doordarshan. So this is the program for teachers. So I request all the viewers to make use of this program without fail. Very, very important. You need to do assessment also and log in Abaha. So I request all the viewers to watch this program without fail. And before going to conclude the session, once again I thank today's resource persons, Mr. Suman Bandi Garu, Vijay Bhaskar Garu, Madhu Garu, all of you, and also Pokuri Srinivas Garu. I thank one and all for being with us and giving a lot of information to our teachers. Thank you one and all, sir. With this, we conclude our today's session. We'll with the new and fresh topic tomorrow on the day 13th, expressing opinions with the same join tomorrow. So till then, so we are now signing out.
Thank
Bye,
you.
sir.
Thank you all the
Thank you
viewers.
so much, sir. Thank you so much.